Are you currently plant-based curious, exploring plant-based diets to see what it has to offer and whether this way of eating could benefit you? You're wondering whether eating plant-based could really help your health and whether making this lifestyle change is actually possible with your situation. If so, that's great. But the problem is, it's been a couple of weeks and possibly months, and you're still on the sidelines. So at what point do you hop off the team bench and join the rest on the playing field? If these thoughts and others are running through your head, I want to help. In today's episode, let me give you 4 questions you can ask yourself to help you make the decision of whether to really start your plant-based diet journey or not. Why? Because the reality is, the longer you wait, the longer it will be for you to enjoy true health transformation. Ready? Let's get started. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. Christmas is around the corner, and in keeping with this treasured, joyous season, I've got 3 exciting things I want to share with you that's coming up very soon, in January. As you know, I'm passionate about supporting you on your plant-based diet journey. So in January, I'm planning to do 2 unique series, something I've not done before on this podcast. One will be on the essentials needed for success on a plant-based diet, and the second series will be on quick, smart starter tips for beginning plant-based eating. I'll also be making an extra special announcement in early January related to the Plant Powered Life Transformation course. So if that's something you've been thinking about or considering, definitely don't miss that announcement, coming up in just 2 weeks. If you don't know what the Plant Powered Life Transformation course is, it's a 6-module online self-paced course designed to provide you the ultimate blueprint to help you master the basics of plant-based eating and transition with ease into a plant-powered lifestyle, without the stress or overwhelm that can come when making this huge lifestyle shift on your own with little support. It's a self-paced course, so you can go at your own pace through the modules. It provides video lessons, recipes, practical strategies, cooking hacks, and skills to help you learn how to prep, cook, and use whole plant-based foods with confidence and ease, and turn them into easy, tasty meals. Oh, and did I mention pretty much all the recipes within this course can be made in 30 minutes or less? If you want to find out more about the Plant Powered Life Transformation course, just go to plantnourish.com/PPLT course or see the link in the show notes. Now, if you've been listening to this Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast for a while, or have been doing your own research, you're likely starting to have a pretty good idea of how plant-based eating could benefit you and your health. You may have heard me mention before about how eating a high-fiber, whole-food plant-based diet could help improve insulin sensitivity, stabilize blood sugar levels, lead to a better weight, reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes, improve heart disease, lower cholesterol, blood pressure, and more. And just from the guest interviews released in the recent months on this podcast, you've also seen evidence of how a whole food plant-based diet can really transform a person's health and life. Just think of Sandra from episodes 7 and 8, and how within 6 months she was able to reverse her diabetes and bring down her cholesterol to normal levels and lose nearly 50 pounds. Her story still amazes and inspires me today. Or of Paul, whose quality of life, self-confidence, and outlook improved greatly after moving to plant-based eating. If you haven't yet, take a listen to these guest interviews, after listening to this one, of course, to learn more and get inspired. But, like many things in life, knowing is one thing and doing is another, isn't it? Like how I tell my children to make sure not to put toys in their mouth especially when they are at school, and to wash their hands well. They know that, but following through and doing it or putting it into action can be that much harder. So it can be the same thing with healthy eating. You know you should be eating more fruits and vegetables and less processed foods, but it is the doing that can be difficult. And there may be other worries or concerns you have that's stopping you from taking that first step forward into the world of plant-based eating. This reminds me of a gentleman in my free Facebook group Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success who wrote that he only started plant-based eating about 4 months ago, but the whole non-meat eating thing has been on his mind for a couple of years. If you're in a similar situation, keep listening because you'll need today's episode. I want to help you get clarity on whether you should start a plant-based diet or not and be more confident that your transition will be a success. Let me give you 4 key questions you can ask yourself now to help you in this decision-making process. So here's the first key question. Do you have some existing health issues and really want a health change to improve your health and life? I'm talking about issues like high cholesterol, uncontrolled blood sugars, high blood pressure, worsening heart health, or other potential diagnoses like cancer or certain autoimmune conditions. Do you really want to improve your quality of life and bring healing to your body so you can live longer with less chronic disease and also prevent the worsening effects of these chronic conditions you already have? If you feel ready and want to embrace a way of living that could increase your chances of living longer, to die of old age instead of a sudden heart attack, avoid more surgeries like stents, then I would say plant-based eating is really a good option for you to consider starting seriously. Now, maybe you don't have any diagnosed medical conditions yet, but there's a strong history of health problems in your immediate and extended family. Perhaps your father passed unexpectedly from a heart attack when you were still growing up, or your mother had bad complications from diabetes. I have a relative on my husband's side of the family who had an amputation for one leg due to diabetes and is now facing amputation of the other leg in these coming weeks. There are also other family members around me with many health problems including cancer, diabetes, and high cholesterol. That's the key reason why our family is eating a plant-based diet. And preventing future chronic diseases is a key reason why some of my clients change to a plant-powered lifestyle. So this could be an important driver or motivator for you too. The second question is this. Are you willing to play the long game? Here's what I mean. Are you willing to seriously treat plant-based eating as a lifestyle? This means not seeing it as a fad diet that you jump on and off within 2 weeks if you get transition issues or don't see the weight changes you are hoping for. That's because every person is different and the results seen on their health journey eating plant-based is also different. There are also other factors at play like what your previous diet was like, past dieting history, activity level, and how fast and complete your transition is to plant-based eating. But if you are willing to stick at plant-based eating and stay in the game, I promise you, you will see results. So it can be hard at first to predict exactly how quickly you will see the transformation in your body and health after you start plant-based eating. It may not be the same as what you see others having on social media. For example, in terms of weight loss, for most it is pretty rapid, but for some it will be slower, and you have to be okay with that. On to question number 3. Are you open or willing to try some new foods and tastes? The plant-based world is full of a variety of foods like different fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, lentils, chickpeas, mushrooms, nuts, and seeds. These can also be prepared in different ways culturally and using different cooking methods. So the question is, are you willing to venture and give some of these a taste? Now here's the thing. It's important to be willing to try new foods, ingredients, and tastes, but you don't need to like all of them. Thinking this way could be a real stumbling block. For example, I remember one member of my community who commented on a post asking about concerns and worries starting plant-based. She said, I'm not into the flavor of some vegetables. Are there ways to get over it? For example, I detest the flavor and taste of cauliflower. Well, if you're feeling the same, know that if you're not into the flavor of some vegetables, you can avoid those for now and focus on trying and enjoying other vegetables first. There are also many ways to flavor vegetables to make them more delicious. So don't feel that a prerequisite to starting plant based eating is that you must like every single vegetable under the sun. So, my question to you today is, are you willing to at least try different tastes and perhaps a different way of cooking than you're used to? This may actually be easier than it sounds because maybe you're already quite acquainted with a few different ethnic cuisines and have tried at least 2 or 3 other restaurants or cuisines different from your own, like Thai, Indian, or Mexican. Well, eating plant based is like that. One of the benefits and perks of eating plant based is the huge variety of whole plant based food that exists and different ways to cook them, season, and flavor them. But you have to be willing to try it, and your willingness will also enable you to find new food favorites that much faster. And lastly, question 4. Are you willing to learn a new skill or way of eating? Yes, plant based eating is a new skill. For example, not many people jump onto the bike and can immediately ride it, or join the Tour de France cycling event on the same day. Or not many people can sit in front of the piano and can immediately play a Mozart's piano concerto from day one. So plant-based eating is a skill that you grow better at over time, and that's why I call it a journey. So are you willing to treat plant-based eating as a new skill and then give yourself grace to learn its ropes? It takes training and practice with consistency, but like anything, it will get easier and better over time. So today we looked at 4 key questions you can ask yourself to help you make a decision of whether to start that transition towards plant-based eating or not. The first is, do you have some existing health issues and really want a health change to improve your health and life? The second is, are you willing to play the long game? The third is, are you open and willing to try some new foods and tastes? And the fourth question is, are you willing to learn a new skill or way of eating? Now, these questions are obviously not all inclusive. There are other key questions that may be helpful in your decision. But I hope this episode was helpful in moving you closer towards making the decision that will best benefit your health. With the new year coming, it's the perfect time to do a little reflection and think about your direction in the coming year. And one of the questions that may be foremost in your mind could be this: should I start a plant-based diet in the new year? Maybe you've been toying with this idea and know your current way of eating and lifestyle is hurting you and reducing your chances to live a long, healthy, active life. That's why you've been exploring plant-based eating thus far. If this question has been on your mind, then I invite you to this small action step. Take a moment today to think upon and answer these 4 questions I've given you so you can determine if plant-based eating is something you want to start, and if 2024 will be the year to do it, to overhaul your health and your life to a better one. I know that making a new change can be hard and daunting. You don't know how this new lifestyle could possibly work into your busy schedule and with the current health challenges you have. I've been there. I've had health issues before that felt so limiting and which threatened to take the joy out of my life. I worried then that either the medications wouldn't be effective enough or that I would need to keep taking medications endlessly to prevent my condition from flaring up or things getting worse. Maybe you're currently struggling with low energy and health challenges too. You're constantly worried about your high cholesterol or high blood pressure levels, or blood sugars being all over the place. Yet you're tired of constantly taking medications and dealing with side effects too. Well, I want you to leave today knowing this: it is possible to build better health through diet and lifestyle changes, and it doesn't need to seem super hard or impossible to do. Using my Plant Nourish Transition Success Method, I'll show you a much easier, simpler way to make the changes needed to see positive impacts on your health, one that can be seamlessly integrated into your current life and schedule. And making a change to gain better health isn't just for yourself. It's for those around you who love and care for you too. So it is worth doing. I see that in the transformed health and lives of my Plant Power Life Transformation course students and private coaching clients. So see moving to plant-based eating as a gift not just to yourself, but also to those who love and care for you as well. So if you're wanting to start or have been struggling in your transition, trying to make things work but feeling frustrated that things aren't going anywhere, don't hesitate to reach out to me at healthnow@plantnourish.com or apply for a free rapid health transformation call using the link in the show notes. We'll connect and I can see if and how I can support you in your transition. And don't forget to mark your paper calendars or set a reminder on your phone or Google Calendar for Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. Tune into this podcast on that day as I'll be making a big announcement related to the Plant Power Life Transformation course. So if that's something you've been thinking about or considering, definitely don't miss that announcement as it's coming up soon in 2 weeks. We'll also be kicking off our 2 special series to help you gain confidence and success in your plant-based diet transition, starting in January, so don't miss that either. But for now, I want to wish those that celebrate Christmas a special treasure time this holiday season with loved ones and friends. Have a wonderful, blessed Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. If this podcast has helped you, please take a moment to rate and leave a written review on the Apple Podcast app or on iTunes. Knowing how this podcast has made a difference in your life never fails to light me up. I may also select your review to be read on the show. Remember that moving to plant-based eating can be simple and doable, even with your existing health challenges and busy lifestyle. If you have a plant-based diet question you'd like me to answer on this show, share that question with me using the contact options in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to connect with you again in the next episode. Until next time, keep plant-focused and thriving, my friend.